Hi there and welcome to Logos. We are going to start designing several logos here. The purpose of this is for you to learn how to use the tools and how to discover what tool you are going to use, and also train yourself on designing logos. After you have mastered copying other people's logos, you will go to a paper and a pen and start your creativity by creating new logos. One tip I tell you, there is no way to create a logo unless you have a purpose. So define the purpose. Why are you creating logo? For whom is it? And what does the customer want, for example? And then you start designing the logo. But for now, we are going to focus on the techniques of drawing logos and using Illustrator at 100%. Let's start. Of course, if you notice here, if I zoom in, you will notice that you have lots of circles. I'm going to show you a trick. Actually, is a tip. If you come to the eyedropper here, under it is measure tool. You see, this is the measurement tool. And you can zoom in. You can click and drag and measure, for example, this distance, horizontal at 100%. The distance here is minus 18.45. Remember, guys, it takes the zoom in consideration. So this is the screen length, not the physical length, of course. Now, let's measure the other side, and you will notice that this is 19.7. These circles are not symmetric or concentric to this white one. Let's keep that in mind. And let's start designing now. Control minus. I'm going to do the first circle. I can come over. Notice I have the fill that is black and the stroke that is no stroke at all. I'm going to switch them. Now, the stroke is black and no fill, and that's exactly what I want. I come to what I estimate is the center and draw my circle here. I'm going to reduce the point to 0.25. Now I have a circle that I need to adjust. I'm going to adjust it from 4 corners. There is no way for me to guess yet if this circle is 100% concentric. Is 100% a circle, by the way. It could be less than a circle. But I would try my best to see if it is a circle. See what I mean? Now, snapping with me here, what we will do is to zoom in. You zoom in, and then it's easier to move it. It will move at less steps, if you like. Gonna zoom out. Where are we? And zoom in. We have a very good circle. It seems like this ear here is an extension of this circle. And there is a small curve here. If you look at it, it could be like we're going to use this circle to create the ear. Good observation. Let's move on. I need to duplicate the circle, so I'm going to use the Ctrl+C, Ctrl+F, and Shift and Option or Alt, and then just zoom in or make it smaller. Then Ctrl+C, Ctrl+F again, and make it small. Now I notice that these guys are not concentric at all. I'm going to make it smaller from here, pressing Shift maybe. Yes, and then I need very little from this side. Snapping, so you zoom in with the Option key. I'm using the mouse scroll and Option key and adjust it a bit better. It seems this is okay. Ctrl+C, Ctrl+F. I want to use it because I like using it. I'm addicted to it. I'm going to make the smaller one. Not bad. Ctrl+C, Ctrl+F and make the smaller one. Now it's time to color one side and, of course, to replicate. But I need to take care of this guy here, the ear. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to use the zoom tool and then click and drag slowly. And like this. Move it here. Zoom in a bit more. We need to create an extension for this circle to cover the ear. Of course, you can create a rectangle, but I want to show you the difficult way. I'm going to take the white arrow, click on the circle, and obviously I need a point here, otherwise everything is going to move. Go to the pen tool and add a point here. I'm going to break the point immediately. I press Option or Alt and just break it over here. Even more. I'm going to use the handle, so that's A, and I'm pressing Shift to make it 100% just over here. Then I need to add another anchor point here. I use the pen tool and click to add the anchor point. But of course, I don't want it curved. I can convert it immediately, convert it to a corner. Use the direct selection and just make the curve over here. and it seems very fine. Now, it seems to me not so fine. It seems to me like I need to take it up a bit, otherwise it's not a straight line. I'm going to take it up just a bit. In fact, we need to take this one down just a bit if we can. 1 pixel here. For now, it's okay. The line is okay, it's not very straight. I don't know if it's straight, by the way. This is done. This is almost done. Let's go for coloring. Obviously, now I'm going to copy the colors from the original one. Let's start with the smaller one, by the way. From here, I'm going to take the eyedropper and go for this color. Then with the selection tool, select the upper circle. It's going to be white. So go for white. And the upper one is going to be black. I can see it. Here you are. This is black. And this one is white fill. Very easy. And the top one is black. I'm going to select them and group them. Then I'm going to duplicate them, Ctrl+C+F, and invert them as you know. So I have 2 of them, click and drag and the Shift key, and just put it over here. It's perfect. It's very nice. Now, let's focus on these curves here. They are ellipses, of course, but I don't know where they start, where they end. I'm going to switch the colors now and remove the fill. So there was no need to switch, just remove the fill. Then I'm going to take it up a bit, adjust it from here. You can use symmetry, pressing Shift and so on, but I prefer to do it like this. Actually, for this logo, it's easier. Perfect. I think we got it 100%. Ctrl+C+F and then Shift and Option or Alt and then make it smaller. That seems very good. I have 2 ellipses here. I have a color under here. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to use the segment, put a segment over here. I'm going to take it a bit down. I will select the 2 ellipses here and our guy over here. That's all we have selected. Then we are going to cut the lower part using the Shape Builder tool. Come over, press Option and cut them off. I did a good job, I think. Let's take the lower one now and copy the color from over there. Go for the eyedropper and color is fine. Then select it and arrange and send it back as usual. There's nothing in it. And then arrange to back. And then the fill here is black. Have we done a good job? Of course, this guy we need to delete. We don't need them anymore. I think we have done a very good job. I think it's excellent for a first trial. Not all logos I try to copy, they succeed from the first trial. We have a mistake. Inner one and eyedropper and get the green. Though here it's faded, it will give me the right color green. Don't worry because it's shaded somehow. It's inside the group. Don't worry about it. It'll give you the right one. Now I need to do the nose. I think the best way to draw the rectangle is to use the pen tool. We're going to just retrace it. You could do a rectangle and put it down. That will be nice, but let's retrace it. I'm going to come over here and then come just like this. Try to estimate and close it. We're going to go remove the fill and give it a small stroke of black to 1 point less. Now, I need to adjust it, of course. You go for the white arrow tool and select this guy and just move it over here and adjust it the way you would like and the very proper way. Zooming in and adjust it just like this. That seems fine. That seems very good. Then I'm going to select it and then give it black. And of course, click out, select it again, arrange, send to back. I think we did a very good job. You notice now we need to remove all the strokes. So I select everything and stroke, no stroke at all, and look at it carefully. I think the replication is very good. We have very well drawn it. But we still have the name. How are we going to discover which font? To try to discover which font and search in between fonts, you're in for a very big job. If you try to trace the font, it's going to take a long time. The best way is, let's select this guy. That's the image here. Is that the one? Yes. And we are going to replicate it. And then take the image up, lock the layers back. Take this image, right click on it and say crop image. I want to isolate the characters. I isolate the characters, the trip advisor, and then I'm gonna export it. And from there, I'm gonna go to the font site of Adobe and show you something very awesome. To export it is very easy. You come to Window and you have Asset Export. You click on it and drag it and drop it in. Now you will want to export it, for example, somewhere. I'm gonna show you that I already did this job for you. Desktop, you notice I have the TripAdvisor font.png here. It's already exported. Now I'm gonna head to the font website of Adobe. I'm gonna write fonts, and obviously it's gonna be Adobe for me. Now there is this small camera here. It is really awesome. If you click on it, it will start telling you, okay, upload an image. What it does is takes an image, a PNG, a JPEG, whatever you like, and scan it left and right, discover the characters that you have put there, and then also discover which font has been used on this PNG. That's very nice. Let's select it. Open. Now it's scanning it. TripAdvisor font, scanning, please wait. Select a single line of text. If you had several lines, you would select only one. You can, scale it up, scale it down, whatever. This is exactly what I want. I'll go next step. And here it has read the text from the JPEG and made it an editable text. You notice I can edit here. Don't edit. And then please tell me which font it is. So now it's going to go ahead and say, okay, which font? It's suggesting several fonts I could use. What am I looking for? If I look at TripAdvisor, there are some distinct characters here or letters. First of all, the V. Notice the V is pointed. It's just here a hard angle. And the A. This is the kind of A it's using. So if I look around, where is the hard pointed V? There are none. The first one seems quite good. And actually, I have the font. If I didn't have it, I would just activate it. We've seen that. It's called Depot New Regular. I'm going to copy this because I'm very lazy. Come back to Adobe Illustrator and write something. Actually, write TripAdvisor. Click. Now here, of course, I had the font because I was trying before. We delete this one, you paste, and it gives you the font. Yeah, that's the one you mean? Okay, let us use this one. Let's click on it and drop it over here, or try to put it as near as possible. I'm gonna zoom in again. Notice this font is really not 100% because the V is different. There is some scaling issues and stories. First of all, try to adjust it as much as possible. You can play with the tracking. That's one. The tracking here, so tracking is working here, but not here. I'm gonna double click on this guys here and increase the tracking. You see, these guys really work on the font. It's not just a font. What we are going to do, let's increase the tracking just over here. These guys, let's increase their tracking. Push the characters. Still, I have over here the tracking. I can add. Maybe they used the corner. Somehow it is okay. Now, if you notice, it's not going to happen. I have to turn the text into outlines. So we create outlines just over here. Then you come, for example, to the V and you start editing it. So I'm going to zoom in, white arrow, select these 2 points here and just move them on this side. And select this point, put it up here. Select this guy and just put it here. Keep the symmetry. It's sometimes is a long job. Sometimes it's a very easy job. The graphic designer did not use any special font. This is TripAdvisor, and obviously they really worked on their logo. Makes sense to you? There is quite some work to do. I leave you to it. It's very easy now to edit. You just try to put them as much as possible near each other and try to play with all the anchor points. Move them around, something like this. You're gonna work on it very nicely and it will happen. It's not easy, but this is a great example. Actually, it looks good already. It's a great example of how to copy a logo and how to use it. Actually, if you come up with this, your next logo, the logo that you are going to do, is gonna be a logo that's very special because you know how to adjust the font the way you would like. Thank you guys. I will see you in the next video with another awesome logo.